Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly. Along with Cindy, I'm Lyle, and we have a great guest tonight, Billy Clayball from Fishing with Billy, formerly of Panfish, will
Wow.
be joining us in just a second. Before we get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about some things that we're going to talk about winter blues on Wheeler. First of all, I was not there. And anybody that wasn't there, I don't feel like should be making derogatory comments about it. So I'm not going to. I'm going to congratulate all of the winners down there. And nobody sent me a list, and we have really, really been under the weather for the last 3 weeks here. I thought I was getting better, and now it feels like the stomach flu is coming in. So the people that sending messages and things to me, I will get to them just as soon as I can. Um, we've been out of the house since the Sunday before Christmas 3 times. So to give you an idea of what we've been going through around here, and like I say, it feels like it's getting worse again. So we'll see how all that works out. But we did want to get on tonight so everybody could see what was happening and visit with Billy a little bit. But the only person, the people that I can remember from reading the post from down there is we're thrilled that everybody got in safe. That was a bad situation. Could have been a lot worse. We're thrilled that everybody made it back okay. Looks like some of them are going to lose a little bit of equipment, but there's a bunch of guys that are helping them get that straightened out, and that is outstanding for them people to do that. But um, Terry and Lisa Haraway and their fishing partner, and I didn't get his name. I'm sorry about that. Got a fourth place finish. That's the only one that I can remember out of those guys. And I seen where Josh Brown and some of the others finished way up in there. But like I say, I just got bits and pieces of that. The majority of our time around this household the last few weeks has been spent in the bed. So just bear with us, and we'll get back to everybody just as quick as we can. In the meantime, Billy, welcome to Catfish Weekly.
Thank you for having me.
Man, I've been following your channel and watching your YouTube videos for a couple, 3 years now, and I've enjoyed them. When you was Panfish,
hmm
is when I got to following you, and I seen some outstanding videos where you was catching bluegill and stuff like that, and the honesty and entertainment value of what you do was intriguing to me. And I've been watching your stuff ever since. And I've watched you catch catfish and carp and all kinds of other stuff. And you don't have you don't have a bunch of nonsense on them. It's straightforward. You're honest and truthful, and man, that makes for great entertainment for people to watch. And I'm so glad to have found you. And we probably should have had you on long before now, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you got started. And before we go get into that, Billy, you folks that are watching in chat, if you have any questions for Billy about his equipment, what he does, how he does things, what he fishes for, boats, rods, reels. You want to know how he does his stuff? Put them in chat, and we'll get to them as many as we see. He'll be watching for comments, and I will be too, and Cindy probably will. So let us know if you have any questions you want to ask Billy, because it'd be a great time because he has a really cool channel for everybody to watch. So Billy, you want to tell us about it a little bit?
Yeah, I actually started YouTube, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I had a motorcycle channel before my fishing channel. So I got to learn how to like video edit and learn the things that people want on YouTube, or at least to be able to grow and on YouTube. And my motorcycle channel never made it above like 60 subscribers. I never did any kind of commentary on it. I think that's one of the downfalls of that channel. But when I moved to, start up the fishing channel, I made sure I had some of my ducks in a row. Like Joe with Cat's Fishing, he was a huge help and influence on my channel. Just collaborating with him and Ty Conkle and them, they're all good guys. Getting to fish with them, I got to fish with Leo Shane from Extreme Philly Fishing. So I just, with the collaborations, have been a great help with the channel. And I've learned a lot from the start. I started out with an action camera, moved up to a mirrorless camera. Now I'm back to an action camera, at least until I can get the Sony. I want to get a nice Sony camera at some point.
Right. Yeah, I've actually lost my good camera to getting it wet. We have a Canon that I love dearly, and rainy day didn't get it in time. Was busy worried about other stuff, and it got wet. And to be quite honest, we sent it in to have it fixed, and it cost half as much to buy a new one to fix it as you can buy a new one for. And I said, this thing's 10 years old. There's no sense of spending $700 or $800 getting it fixed. For 12 or 14 you can buy a new one. So that's what we'll probably do this year, is just get a new one.
Yeah, I see Maurice said realistic fishing too. I got to fish with him. He's in Joe Check's fishing, realistic fishing. Catfish Dave, Justin Johnson, we're all here in Tennessee. Realistic fishing in Middle Tennessee, and the rest of us, all of us, are in East Tennessee. Like both Justin and Dave are within like 20 miles, 30 miles of where I live.
Mm-hmm. I see Mid-South Outdoor Life says that he enjoys your content and wants to do a collab with you. That would be outstanding. Quentin is a super nice guy, and I can just see you guys having a blast together.
Yeah, I need to do more collaboration. This is some of the things I've been slacking on lately. Haven't been able to get with Joe. I'm trying to get Joe to do a muskie fishing trip with me. He wants to catch a muskie, and I know where they're at. So if he can get done with wrestling season, he might come to muskie.
Joe's quite a guy. We had him on some time back, and then really enjoyed having him on the show. And I see Mike Greenwell in here. That's another guy we need to get on here, and Justin and several of the others. But we're going to work everybody in as we get a chance. I watch a lot of YouTube, and being in bed a lot here the last week or so, or sitting around where we couldn't do anything, I got caught up on some that I'd missed, and actually found some new YouTube channels, and some of them are really good. Some of them not so much, but everybody starts out someplace, and if you watch one of the early shows and then you catch them a year or so later and see the improvement on them, you know that they're going to be all right. And that's what over the years I've seen a lot of that come and go, where guys start out and it was almost like they was afraid to do what they was doing, but they actually adjusted to it and made changes, and either wrote stuff down that they should do and made their self notes, or however they done it, but they've done very well. And I'm impressed to see the improvements that all these young channels make as they go along and time passes.
I see realistic fishing is in here too. I'm gonna try to get him on a muskie too soon.
That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. You fish for a lot of different species.
Yeah, I do. It's because of the Tennessee Angler Recognition Program. I'm trying to go up the ladder for that. If you catch a trophy fish and you take a picture of it or have a buddy vouch for it, and then you send $5 to the Tennessee Wildlife Agency, they send you a certificate. You get Master Angler if you get 5 trophy fish, any type. So I got 5 blue cats. Got Master Angler level 1, and then for Master Angler level 2, it's 5 different fish. So previous fish count. So I had already caught several, blue cats. So blue catfish. I got a flathead and a drum with Ty Conkle, which he actually got his drum certificate too, because we caught 2 absolute monster drum on that fishing trip. It was pretty cool. And then I caught a 52-inch muskie at my muskie area. And then I got a striped bass with a local guide buddy who's actually taught me a lot. He helped me get my guide license and has taught me a lot about guiding and stuff, and based on how he does it and whatever. So I made it to Master Angler level 2. Level 3 is 10 total fish, previous fish count. I'm only one. I caught a channel catfish. So I've got all the catfish now, flathead and blue channel. Now I have to catch like largemouth bass, bluegill, crappie, I need to get 4 more fish to get Master Angler level 3. I'm hoping to do that this year at some point. I've been chasing carp forever. There is a certificate for carp, and I keep catching like 30-inch carp or less. So that's one of the things I need to do is catch a trophy size carp. I think it's 34 inches. It might be 36. I'd have to look it up. It's 34 or 36 inches.
I've watched a lot of your videos where you're actually fishing for carp or trying to catch carp, and sometimes you catch other species. Like I say, some of the best videos that I've seen of yours, I like all the catfishing ones, of course, that's what we do, is catfish, but I really enjoyed your panfish videos. Bluegill is something that we catch for not only bait, we catch for sport. We have some great places to catch them, and we never keep the giants. We always put them back. I do like to eat them, but you have had some outstanding pan fishing videos where you caught bluegill and crappie and I don't know other things, but I enjoyed those a great deal. It seems to me like you've done a lot of those before you got your new boat.
Yeah, I've done some with my boat too. I've chased crappie, and I've even chased carp with it with no success. For some reason, my boat and carp don't mix. I have to bank fish for carp, and I don't mind bank fishing. I like bank fishing just as much as boat fishing.
Right.
I mean, my boat has a jet prop on it too, so that adds a pretty big gas bill. Jet props are, but it makes it a really fun boat too.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Somebody pretty good.
I seen a message in here. You both going to the Catfish conference? We are not sure at this point. We've made every one, so I would be surprised.
I'm going to try my best to make it there. There's one of my subscribers that I talk to every now and then, another local. I might go up there with him. I don't have my Volt anymore. I had a nice gas saver car. Now I only have my truck, so driving up there would cost me a lot of money. So I'm going to try to carpool with my friend and my cat.
Hey, there's your buddy. We went to the first one, and we've been to every one since. So I'd be surprised if we don't make it down there. But the way this cold flu, whatever is going on, I'm not 100% sure of anything at this point till we get going. Mike Sampson wants to know what part of Tennessee you're from.
I'm in East Tennessee, in Knoxville.
You're probably pretty close to where Mike lives then.
Maybe.
Yeah, and he lives around the Knoxville area somewhere, or did. Daniel Ishmael wants to know if you're going to make the Texoma tournament.
I haven't done any tournaments in a long time. I've been wanting to do a tournament. I've got a tournament live well that I haven't tested yet. One of the to-do, it's on my to-do list to do tournaments, but I haven't done anything. If I do tournaments, I start with local ones. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got a 17-foot boat, so if I went and I wouldn't be able to do the Tennessee River Monsters tournament because I would end up being overweight for it because they're requiring 3 people now per team. And then with live well full of water, my boat would be over its weight. Although I've had 3 people in my boat with a bait tank and really water, and it handled pretty good, but it's based on Coast Guard rules, it would be illegal for me to do something like that. But one of these days, I'm going to upgrade to a bigger boat.
Sure. That's how we all start out. Dustin Fall, welcome to Catfish Weekly. Glad to see you in here tonight. Mike said that where did I just see that? Mike said he lives in Rockwood, Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's near Kingston and upper. Actually, Rockwood has the Emory River going right through it.
Awesome.
I saw some absolute giant sturgeon in that river, but it has everything in it.
Yeah. Catfish Live Matters, Dustin Fall. Glad to see you in here tonight, Dustin. I haven't seen you in chat for a while, so it's good to see you. Kentucky Catfishing says, how's the fishing been, Billy?
It hasn't been too good. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to catch too many fish. I've been out on my boat multiple times over the past month and I've been getting skunked. So that's why I've been posting a bunch of bank fishing videos, or like my last video was just I went back and pulled all the clips from the big fish I caught in 2019. So it's been kind of slow.
I see. You know what? It's a quarter after, and I just pulled all of the people's names up that's in chat right now. And how about, what do you say we give something away, Billy?
Sounds good.
I have one set of lightning bugs here that fish lights that fish fix lightning bug lights that fit on the end of your fishing rod. These are the green ones, I believe. We have just a few of these left, and he said give them all away. And in this particular package, there is 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. And I am going to randomize it one time, and we'll see who the winner is. The winner is K Camp. The number, or the letter K, and then CAMP. So if you, they should be available, just simply because I just pulled that out of chat. So if they will contact me after the show, just message us and give me your shipping address, I will send them out to you and we'll get them gone. Thank you so much for watching Catfish Weekly. And Lightning Bugs, thank you guys so much for helping us out with these prizes. We had a few left over from our big giveaway, and that's how we got these. So we appreciate everything that they're doing to help us out, and we're going to give them all away until they're gone. I have another prize we're going to give away here in a little bit, Billy. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but we had one guy that never claimed a prize, and it's been about 2 months. And from now on, if you don't claim your prizes within the week you win them, they will be re-given away. And I have one that nobody claimed. It's Ted Ellensbecker's Any Fish, Any Water Volume 1 video. And we're going to give that away today also. So be sure to claim your prizes within a week. That way we don't have them sitting around, because I got to tell you, at some point you run out of room of where you put everything. So, man, there's a bunch of folks in chat tonight. I'm glad to see them all in there. It's really good to have a big crowd. I want to check something right quick, Billy. Okay,
I
we're
see some
good.
people talking about the Catapalooza.
Yes.
Yeah, I might try to go to that. I think Hooker's Terminal Tackle.
James R. Wood and Hooker's
James
Terminal
R.
Tackle are
Wood
putting that on. Yep.
is
I
putting that
know
on.
that.
That's I'm going to try to go there. I'm going to also be at the East Tennessee Fishing Show.
Cool.
In January. Probably on that Saturday. I usually hang around Milton Hill Bill's booth. He always has a booth there every year. He's a striper guide, so I just kind of hang out in his booth and meet anybody local that decides to drop by. And I've met a couple of people there. It wasn't like last year's Catfish conference, though. I could felt honestly, I felt like a rock star. I mean, I must have shook hands with 50 to 60 different people.
Oh,
There.
I'm quite sure. Yeah. Yeah,
So
we stayed busy down there last year. We always do, but we try to do interviews with as many people, whether they're YouTube guys like yourself. And I don't remember doing one with you last year. We may have missed you,
yeah,
but
I was
but
too busy shaking people's hands and talking.
well, and that's what Doc and I did the whole. Yeah, we did the same thing, but we try to get a bunch of the YouTube folks. We get viewers that watch the show. And then we get the, like Steve and everybody that's involved with putting that on, Steve and Hervé and all those guys. So we try to get as many of them as we can in there. But we go from the day that it opens, we're there all day doing interviews and all night, and the next day just one right after another. So we get a whole bunch of videos. We try to go an hour or so with a set, then we take a break and then come back and do them like that again. But bam, Dieter Melhorn is in the house.
You need to go catch a bunch of 40-pounders again.
That's right. And
Trip. When Dieter came up to me, I was like, "Yeah, let's try this ramp." And then when we were talking there, I was like, "I have a hunch. Let's go to this spot." And we went to it, and 240-pounders like in the first hour and a half. It's like, man.
Dieter's been telling me for years he's going to come to Missouri and fish with me. Hell, I don't think he ever will. I think he just talks that stuff. So I'll quit asking him. I really do. But I love old Dieter, and I'm sure that he will be out there. In fact, I know he will. He'll be out there doing interviews and stuff. And Dieter does a bang up job. We had him on the last show that we done, and really had a really good time with him. And you know, Dieter and I agree on a lot of stuff, but there's quite a bit of stuff we don't agree on, and we can have a conversation about that, and the next day talk to each other on the phone like you and I are talking now, and everything works out. So it makes it good that we're able to do that, and I've known him for a long time. He's a super nice guy. He said you found some fish. Stilly Outdoors.
That too. I'm typing in there every now and then.
Yeah, Stilly Outdoors says him and his buddy got into a 46 and a 57. That's some great fish, man. Great fish. Richard, you might be right. I think Dieter is scared to come to Missouri.
Isn't that the Missouri River is where Luke from North Wrangling caught that 100-pounder, right? I think that's the river he caught that in.
Lukey on the Missouri. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was in Missouri or in Nebraska or Kansas, but I think he was in Missouri, I think.
There was a lot of flow going on there. I could tell.
Oh.
Might have been the upper part of that river where that.
Well, it doesn't matter on that Missouri. The last dam for the Missouri River is in South Dakota. And I don't know about the other states, but Missouri had announced several years ago, 4 or 5, that they wasn't going to maintain the dikes anymore on it simply because there's not enough barge traffic anymore. There's barge traffic, but not enough. And now whether they've changed their mind on that, I haven't heard. But the last I knew, they wasn't going to maintain them. So when they blow out and start deteriorating away, they'll just – and it's just free flowing from South Dakota all the way to St. Louis. So there's a lot of current in the Missouri River. Even when it's low, there's a lot of current there. It's a great place to fish, to catch big fish, though. So I'm trying to keep up with all these guys. Oh, it looks like Stacy Gaston is in here tonight. That's awesome. No, Dieter. No. Don't be giving away free kisses. They don't nobody want none of that action. You might offer talk to Cindy about that, but they're not gonna want any from me. So Billy, tell us on the body of water you fish down there in your area.
Multiple bodies of water.
Okay.
I mean, you got the Tennessee River. The Tennessee River starts in Knoxville. You got the French Broad and Holston River come together to make the Tennessee River. And the first major lake on there is Fort Loudon. The state record, one of the state records, I think it was a commercial fishing catch, blue catfish was caught in Fort Loudon. I think it was 130 pounds in that lake, the first lake of the Tennessee River. The second lake is Watts Bar.
Mm-hmm.
It runs into Watts Bar, so Watts Bar is my favorite. It seems like Fort Loudon is fished a lot. I recently, well, not recently, I think it was last year or the year before, someone kept like an 80-pounder, and I think it was caught twice. Caught it at one part of the lake, released it, and then like a few months later, the same fish was caught, but they kept it.
Oh, wow.
So it's fished to death. But Watts Bar is a much bigger lake, and there's a lot of good fish on that lake.
That's cool.
I don't like fishing like Melton Hill. Like I'm right in between Melton Hill and Watts Bar. I'm actually closer to, or Melton Hill and Fort Loudon. I'm closer to Melton Hill, and Melton Hill is kind of hit or miss lake. It's there's a lot of muskie in it. There's stripers, there's flatheads, there's blues. My biggest flathead was came from a tributary of Milton Hill, one of the creeks there. So, but I fish everything. I need to get to Douglas. I need to try to fish up there in Douglas. I've fished Norris when I was younger. Norris is a really deep lake. I've done some walleye fishing in it, trying to learn walleye so I can catch that trophy size walleye, which I still haven't caught yet. But Norris is a good place for walleye. So is Tellico. Tellico is connected to Fort Loudon through it's connected to it. So Tellico is another kind of a shallow lake. There's walleye in there too. But I fished everything around here. I've gone. I can't remember where I was trout fishing with Realistic Fishing. It was out west. But the Clinch River is a good trout river too. I've caught some monsters. I found a secret technique for the trout there in the Clinch River.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, they call it being in the slot all day long because you can't keep anything between 12 inches and 20 inches. So all we were doing was catching 19-inch and 18-inch trout all day.
That sounds like the slot limits that we have in Missouri on Blue Cat. It's what is it, 26 to 32, and there's a lot of fish caught in that slot. But that's if they didn't have the slot, we was never going to get a great amount of bigger fish. And it's paying off. I'm glad that they done that. I worked really hard with them guys to get that done. So I'm really pleased to see it. I hope they keep it in effect and give those breeders a chance to get to bigger sizes.
Dieter asked me what fish I would be. I would say flathead catfish, and if a largemouth bass swam by, I would eat it.
Atta boy. No, I consider flatheads the king of cats, although I like catching channel cats and blues both.
That's my favorite. Flatheads are my favorite fish.
Yeah.
Fish. They take a little bit of skill to find sometimes.
Right. All the tournaments that we fished over the last several years, the blues have become the most sought after for Cindy and I. But if I just had to pick one to fish for, flatheads would be the one. Just I love to catch them. They fight hard, and I don't keep any of them to eat. I used to, and they are probably the tastiest of all catfish to eat. But unless they're about like this, I don't ever keep a flathead. It's just too hard. It takes too long for them to grow up to them breeding sizes, and I just don't keep them in there. You know, if they're over a couple pounds, they go back, and most of them go back too. Because to be quite honest, I don't like to clean fish, therefore I hardly ever keep one. But once in a while we do.
There's my buddy Melton Hill Bill. He said he's my skipjack supplier, which is correct. I use some of his leftovers.
That's cool. It's great to have somebody like that in your back pocket where you can get bait. Because let's face it, you work plus do all this other stuff, and everybody doesn't have time to go out and catch bait and then go fishing, and it makes it hard to do. Most people don't think so. Yeah, I think so. I just love them, man. In a dance-off, I don't know about you, Billy, but it's kind of like kisses. They don't nobody want to see me dance either.
I'd rather have a fishing competition, see who could catch the biggest blue.
Hey, absolutely, or or tell the biggest lie about catching one. Anything. My favorite part of last year, I got to tell you, Billy, at the Catfish Conference was judging the catfish cooking contest. That was my favorite part of the whole thing. I had such a great time down there doing that, and some really quality fish to eat. And the competitors was outstanding, and the other judges that I had to deal with was really good. I enjoyed that probably as much as anything we done down there. But then again, I like visiting with everybody, so it's a lot of fun.
See, Mike Greenwell talk about bumping. I like bumping. I have 2 bumping rods now, and I need to do more bumping. I've been wanting to do it and then end up getting distracted by just
catching fish. It's kind of like learning to use a circle hook. For years, I tried to learn to use circle hooks, and we'd miss fish, and I'd jerk them, and pretty soon I was tying J hooks or KO hooks or something back on. And finally, we just quit taking anything but circle hooks fishing. And you either learn to use them at that point or you don't catch no fish. And that's, that was what I had to do to learn how to use them. We just quit taking anything else. And pretty soon you get tired of not, you forget about jerking it, because if you don't reel on them, and then you're not going to hook up. And I did figure out that if you go slow and give a sweeping motion and not jerk, you can stick most of them. But the reel down, that's the easiest, most effective way to do that. And that's
in the bank. I have the bad habit of trying to set the hook.
Yep. And there's
road, I've got it down almost to a science. My next video, you get to see we miss a few fish, and one of the baits, it must have been, I don't know, an enormous fish, and we reeled down on it, and then he got it out of the rod holder. You saw the bin. It was an enormous fish, and then it just opened its mouth. So it was only had its mouth on the bait, but not all the way. It hadn't ate it yet. And we could see on the big piece of bait where the flesh was scraped off or whatever. So we lost an absolute monster because it didn't eat the entire bait.
Right. Dave Funk says he's going to enter his shake and bake fish. That sounds pretty good. It really does. Load up again. Sonny, I hope you're feeling better. I'm glad to see you in here. I don't know how long you're going to be off work, but let me know if you get your computer deal figured out, if we can do a show before you go back to work, because I know you work at night and it's hard for you to do one. But I'm so glad that you're home, and I talked to you the other day and you was doing better, and we're really happy. So all the thoughts and prayers must have done some good, because Sonny's getting along pretty good, and we're glad to hear that. Catfish Headhunter says he still jerks on hooks. Yeah, it takes a long time to get out of it, and I'm not sure you ever complete. When you set a hook your entire life and then you try to learn a new style, I'm not sure you ever forget about the original stuff you done. So but we try and really have a good time. Hey, Billy, what do you say we give away another set of these lightning bugs? I have 2 sets of those tonight. Let's go ahead and give that set away. Let me get everybody loaded up in chat again. I didn't pull them out while you was talking last time. I was talking myself. Whisker Stick Fishing is in the house tonight.
Someone asked what a stinger hook is. It's just 2 hooks in a row. You have the main hook on top of the bait, and the stinger hook is the hook on the bottom of the bait. So if they short bite, like what I was talking about earlier, where it's short bit a large piece of bait, they'll get hooked by the second hook.
That's correct.
Stinger hook is.
That's a great analogy. Billy, pick me out a number between 1 and 5. We'll shake it up a little bit this time.
3.
3 it is. 1, 2, 3, and the winner of the lightning bugs is Jordan Lear Outdoors, a guy that don't live too awful far from me. Jordan just messaged me after the show, and I will make sure to get them out to you. You'll love them. They're great product, and the reason I know they're a great product is because my old buddy Paul says they are.
Hey, and Danny Cal in the stream.
Danny Cal and I was going to get together and go fishing last year, and for some reason it never materialized, but I know he comes down to Lake Ozarks, and maybe we can get together and do that this year. I'd really like to visit with him on the boat and take him out fishing. He's a great guy. I've talked to him at several events throughout the year, and we've had a really, really good time visiting, so I know we'd have a great time fishing. There's Lisa Haraway, 4th place winner at Winter Blues on Wheeler. Her and her husband and their partner. Congratulations, Lisa. Good job. You guys are in there talking about catfish reels. What kind of reels do you use, Billy?
Akuma.
Akumas? Okay.
Almost everything I have is Akuma. I just traded for a Catfish Special 7000. I've never used one before. And whatever my buddy Clinton did to it, he's made it cast like a dream. I've seen other people like use 7,000s, and it sounds like they're like falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I don't know what he did to it. He did some kind of magic, and it cast amazingly well. But all my other rods and reels are Akuma. Like I use Akuma Classic Pro, the 300 size on as all my boat reels. I do have 4 B&M Silver Cap Magnums I got for pretty.
I've seen you use those.
Yeah, I
Yep.
got 4 of those and then 2 Battle Cats. I love the
Mhm.
Battle Cats. I wish I could replace everything with the Battle Cats. They're holding up so well. The B&Ms, they're starting to show wear on them now with the cork and everything. But my Battle Cats, one of them's actually used Battle Cat that's probably, I don't know, 2 years old, and it's holding up. It's solid rod. And then I have the bumping rods I have are the B&M bumping rods that I need to use. I've used one of them. I haven't used my other set yet, and I have cold water, Akuma cold waters on them.
Mm-hmm. Sonny, I have not had a chance to use those sinkers yet. If we ever get healed up where we can get out, I am going to. Um, I could show them to people if you want me to. But if you come on the show, that'd be something we could talk about. Oh man! But I know Sonny has a computer that he hadn't used in a while. He has to make sure it is still working. I agree, Mike. That's what I use. Most everything I have is Abu. I do have a pen that I've had. Cindy bought me for our anniversary gift years ago from Dave Ashby, and it doesn't get used a lot, but I really like it. It's a great reel. I know what I want to do, Billy. I'll show you something here.
Daniel Ishmael, you say that. What I think about the Cat Max? I had a Cat Max, and it lasted a while, and then I had some just weird issues, like it wouldn't like disengage, and some other things were going weird with it.
Some guys was talking about this when we had a show here a while back, Billy. This is a Penn Torque X10 that I have in my collection. This is an extremely nice reel. It was used when I've got it, and it's not 100%. I'm going to guess, because I collect a lot of reels, I'm going to give it a 9.2 or 3 out of 10. This is set on my shelf. It's kind of dusty now, and it's got a cobweb down in here, but this is the nicest reel that I've ever owned. Smooth. I've never used it, never had line on it. Like I say, I got it used, and it is a great reel. I've considering selling it just because I don't collect reels like I once did, and it's got a fast and a slow retrieve on it and all kinds of stuff. But for guys looking for a reel, the only reason why I don't mount this on a rod is because it doesn't have level wind, and I never got figured out how to run your thumb back and forth to keep the line on them, and I will never use that reel. It was just pretty, and I wanted it, so
I keep trying that too, trying to use the non-level winds. I just took a Classic Pro and removed the level wind off of it to gain a few more yards on my 12-foot longitude, and it casts a lot better now. But it's you got to put the line back on it, and it's hard to do, especially if you have a fish on the line.
Yep, yeah, it is. I just when I get one on, I want it to do all that itself. I don't want to mess
Yeah.
with it because I'm worried about getting the fish in the boat. But I've been fishing tournaments for near 30 years, and I never have figured it up to exact, but it's somewhere between 25 and 30 years. Doc and I used to talk about that all the time. But we was flooded a lot last year, and we didn't get to fish as many as we usually do. And to tell you the truth, I'm to the part where I'm not going to be going to as many at our age, and probably never do another night tournament unless we went with somebody younger, in case, because we've had trouble at night in night tournaments, and it wasn't pretty. So yeah, we're probably done with all that, but we're going to do more video stuff and and fun fishing that we haven't been able to do a lot of that because of all the tournaments and stuff that we usually go to. So, Mike, if you're interested in that reel, just message me after show and I'll talk to you about it. I really don't know. I know what they cost new, and I don't want near that for it because I don't have that much in it. I traded some stuff for it, but anyhow, if you're interested in it, just message me and like I say, if I don't get back to you tonight, understand that I'm still not 100%, and I got a lot of messages and stuff to catch up on. So bear with me. But yeah, that's a nice. I just can't do them. I love my Abu Garcias and I've another reel that I really like. They don't hold quite enough line to suit me. Using braid as I do is these Tika catfish models. I love them on a bumping rod because they don't weigh much. They don't quite hold as much line as a 6500, but you could go down from the 80-pound braid that I use to say a 65 and probably be all right in most tournaments. But them reels are extremely nice, extremely smooth, and they don't weigh very much. I have two of these. They don't make them anymore. And if I knew someone that actually had some new ones in the box, I would be interested in them, or some that had only been used once or twice or something like that. But I've got some Akumas too. But I haven't bought any new Akumas in a long time. What kind of rods and stuff did you say you had? You had B&Ms and what
Yeah,
else?
my bank fishing rods are 12-foot longitudes now. I've got two Seamar combos, Okuma Seamar combos that I sold the reels off of, kept the rods, and then put the new Seamar bait runners on. I use them as carp fishing rigs. I've got the new, but I haven't been using them for carp lately. I've been using my what is that? The Record Chaser, the new Okuma Record Chaser with the Avenger on it. Crazy enough, Okuma actually sent me that Avenger, so I've been using so much Okuma stuff. They recognize me a little bit, so they sent me.
That's outstanding.
A new version of the Avenger, and I like it a lot. They've done some good changes with the way it looks. And then I have for the boat, I've got the 4 B&M Silver Cat Magnums with Kuma Classic Pros on them, and then 2 Battle Cats with the Kuma Classic Pros. I got 2 B&M bumping rods with cold waters, Akuma cold waters on there, the low profile ones. And then I've got the 30 size Seabar combo that I like using for like trout and crappie fishing. So really ultralight. And then I've got the C10 5-foot rod Seabar combo. And then I've got like a Dock Demon, and I got a pocket fisherman that I haven't used yet. And a cat too that decided to join the live.
I see Muskrat Adventure says he has a beast on his bumping rod. Pardon me. I actually at the Catfish conference last year, Nate and Mallory from Demon Dragons and Tackle Bandit had a couple of those down there, and that was the first ones that I'd actually had out of the box in my hand. And for a reel straight out of the box, that has to be the smoothest reel I've ever held in my hand. And I would love to have a couple of those, but the reason I probably don't have them is they're very pricey, but that's not the issue a lot of times. With me, I use almost strictly line counter reels now for more than one reason. And we've talked about that before on the show. And I dearly love line counters, and I probably got 6 that I'm going to send to River Rat Reel Repairs to get a super tune like you was talking about, Billy, where they're really, really smooth and they cast good. I want to upgrade the bearings and the drag washers and all that stuff to them. And Jarrett does such a great job. I'll send them down there and he'll super tune them up, and they'll be like what you was talking about when I get them back, and that's what I want them to be. He's done some work for me before, and he does outstanding work. I mean, just outstanding. Yeah, but I like the Pro Rockets also. Tell us about your boat, Billy.
It's a complicated boat. The local guy, trying to make sure she doesn't get on the keyboard. She likes to accidentally hit keys on the keyboard and knock
I
me
understand.
or whatever. So the hull, it's a local guy that pretty much put my boat together. He's called Green from Greenville, Tennessee, and he gets weld-built hulls. He orders like a bunch of them, and then here, fix them up. Here, put the console wherever you want it. And then, like, fix it up. Here, add those pumps. He is an actual manufacturer, so he rebrands it to himself and then sells them out. So it's a 1756 hull, tunnel hull, has like I think a G3 style tunnel on it. It's got a 65 horsepower jet on it that's mounted like as high as humanly possible. Like if I'm standing on the front of the boat, the motor's completely out of the water. So it's pretty good setup for a jet. I added rod holders to it. Ty, the FV Catfish, FVCatfish.com, that guy, I've fished with him a few times. He made brackets for the two rear rod holders. So I've got 3 in each corner. Then I've got 4 on the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. I had him mount the console like cockeyed to the middle. So the steering wheel's in the middle, and then it's slightly over the console itself. And then I have what is that? Altera, 80-pound Altera, which is actually too powerful for the boat, but it makes the perfect anchor. When they have like Fort Loudon spilling at its hardest, that trolling motor keeps me right in where I need to be without going over like setting 4.5. So it's a really powerful trolling motor. I'm glad I got it. With the remote control, makes everything so much easier.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's done me well. I mean, my second time that I was in shallow water, I hit a stump, and that's because I slowed down because I wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go, and when I decided to turn left, I turned left right into a stump and caused a leak in the bottom of the boat. So I took it and had the back bench removed because that was in the way. Kind of a tripping hazard or whatever for the way I was using the boat. So I had the back bench removed. They fixed the leak and welded up everything, made it a little bit stronger around the actual tunnel. And now I've got access to the back of the boat. The only problem I have is my gas tank. People who've seen some of the videos on my channel have seen me trip over the gas tank a few times, and I can't really move it anywhere else. So I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with a gas tank. If I could find like one that could go on the wall or on the transom or something, I might do that someday. But for now, it's the new tripping hazard, but it's easier to get around than the beach was.
Absolutely. Team Reel and the Blues, thanks for joining us tonight. If you got to eat, you got to eat. I completely understand that. I've seen something in here from Sonny or somebody, but they're kind of rocking along here. Hey, PD, how are you doing tonight? Somebody was in here a minute ago talking about spinning reels, pin spinning reels, and I'm not sure who it was because they're already way past that now in what I got. But Nate and Mallory at Tackle Bandit had some really good prices on some spinning reels here a while back, and I love spinning stuff, and I'm probably going to get back to some of it. That's what I do all my small fishing stuff, channel cat and bluegill, crappie. Whenever I get a chance to do any of that, that's what I use as spinning stuff for that. I do like my bait casters for the other, and I have got some large bait casting reels. The problem with those is what I would built them thinking that after I had that last shoulder surgery, it would be easier for me to turn them with my left hand where the surgery was. And actually it was harder because you had to turn them in such big rotation. So I never did really use them. And I've got several of the larger ones, but I've got some really good small ones. And I love the spinning reels. At one time, Billy, you might chime in on this, but I believe at one time the quality of spinning reels was lacking a little bit for big catfish, big flatheads, and big blues. But the amount of quality that has come in the last 10 or 12 years to spinning reels, I believe they're as good as bait casters now.
They're getting better. I mean, the one area that has been testing spinning reels to the max has been alligator gar fishing. Those
Yes,
guys use spinning reels religiously,
that's
and
correct.
they break them just as much as they use them.
Yep.
I mean, I've watched alligator gar channels where they break, a mid-range reel. Then they'll post a video about it, say this is the worst reel ever. Then they'll have, next few videos they'll have like a $300 reel, spinning reel,
Right.
$300 spinning reel. Then all of a sudden they have an Akuma Avenger on there, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
they have that, and it makes me think that they've probably broken the $300 reel, sent it in, and they, bought a cheap Avenger. An
Yep.
Avenger can handle maybe 2 or 3 300-pound gar, and then it's smoked, but
But
enough for them to get to their next video or to their next client, and then they get
right.
the bigger reel back. But it really puts them to the test, and I know why they do it. The alligator gar, when they grab a bait, they're not hooked or whatever. They just grab it and then they swim with it for 30 minutes or more, and then when they stop, they swallow the bait, and that's when you set the hook. Well, if you're using a bait caster, they have more potential of feeling the line when you have that line being pulled out, unless you're free spooling. But with like line runner or bait runner spinning reel, you can set it to where you can't feel it when it's coming out, and that's why they use the spinning reels. So the alligator gar can swim with it for 30 minutes, not know that there's line there, and when it finally stops to swallow the bait, then they can set the hook and break the spinning reel.
Man, do you know how hard it would be to sit there that long, wait on that thing to take that bait down?
Yeah.
Man, that'd be hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it would be. Uh, Junior, thanks for tuning in. Terry, that's a great report from the Collinsville Fishing Show. I'm glad that Nate and Mallory treated you right. I knew they would. They're great folks to deal with. And Tackle Band is top notch. You're exactly right, Mustang Adventures. They do a great job with their products and really good people to deal with. Penn Pursuit 3 8,000 sprinting reel is what Bill Arnold has. Well, cool, Evan. I'm glad you made it. Like I say, we haven't been anywhere other than pick up medicine and one of my grandson's birthday parties over the weekend, and we drove an hour to that and an hour back, and was over there a couple of hours, and we was both just beat when we got back. We're so weak from dehydrated from this crap that we got. So, but it's at some point it's got to get better. It just has to. We just couldn't miss 2 weeks in a row and let you guys down again. It was really hard. And but Billy was so gracious to join us tonight. You know what, Billy? How about what do you say? I load up and we give away this Ted Ellensbecker video. Whoop. I done something wrong. I got 2 computers going. I hit the wrong one. Let me get the people's names in chat. You guys, if you would share this video to your friends, we'd appreciate it. And we will try to get everything lined up to where we're a little better next week and get everybody a new guest in here. Like I say, damn it. We're in search mode for a co-host. Doc is enjoying his time off, and I visited with him today. He had a great time with Bink and Janet last week. They've been great friends for years and years, and they've done some fishing, caught some fish, and I know what he's working, a project he's working on, and he got to watch 3 grandsons wrestle over the weekend. That in itself is a pretty cool deal. And I think Josh, his oldest grandson, actually won his event, and the other 2 finished second and third in there. So that's way cool. Billy, why don't you pick me out another number between 1 and 5, and we'll do it that way again.
Let's do 4.
4, 1, 2, 3. Got a bunch of them in chat this time. 4. And the winner is Joe Buck 66. Joe Buck 66, contact me. This is what you're going to get. Ted Ellensbecker, any fish, any water. This is a great video. I've watched it a couple of times. Ted's a great promotional speaker, and if you'll watch this, you'll watch it several times and still not catch everything, I promise you. But it's the last one of those that we have. And the only reason we have that one is because one of the guys that won it never claimed it. And like I said earlier, we're going to hold everything for 1 week. If the prizes haven't been claimed the week by the next Monday, when we give them away, then we're going to give them away again, because I guess so many of them sitting around, and that's fair. If you haven't claimed them within a week, you probably haven't watched the show or may not watch that particular one or whatever. So any of the prizes that are not claimed within a week, we're going to give away again. So this one's been here for 3 or 4 weeks, but I wanted to get it out there and somebody can enjoy it because it is a great video. All right, Billy, anything else you'd like to visit with about tonight?
Well, Clemento Cats was talking about how he liked my old name, Panfish.
Me too.
I changed. You can still call me Panfish Bill. That's kind of a thing. I changed it because I don't only go for like panfish. I like catching big fish. I've also got like, the small time guide service I'm doing. So I wanted to have more in alignment with what I'm doing. So fishing with Billy is a little bit more in alignment.
Man. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm really glad that you done the guide service. Are you doing a lot of guiding?
Yeah, I'm only booking about 1 a month. I'm doing that on purpose so I can have time to do my YouTube channel and other things too. So I'm doing about one trip a month is how I'm booking it.
That's awesome.
And usually I've been doing like specials every now and then too, just to get people booked. I'm going to have a website and other stuff at some point, but I've kind of been dragging my feet on that.
Now, are you going to YouTube your guide trips or no?
It's going to be no unless the person asks me to.
Okay.
So, I'd rather not do it. I almost consider it like double dipping if I'm doing a YouTube video and, doing a guide. So I'd rather focus on finding fish for whoever I'm fishing with than trying to film it.
I think that's a great.
But I'm not completely against it.
Right. Yeah. If you got somebody that wanted to do one, and again, the right person, everybody doesn't want to be filmed. I know some really good fishermen that I would love to have as guests on Catfish Weekly, and they are so afraid of a camera, they won't do one, and there's people that's like that. But, some of them get over it and get past it and others don't. But, Janet and Teresa, 2 good friends of ours that fish a lot of tournaments. It was a long time getting those on the show. We finally got them down at I believe it was Owensboro. Might have been Memphis. I don't remember now, but they watched the show, but they just wouldn't get on it. I know I got Janet and Bink on together, maybe at the Catfish conference one year, but those women are as talented as anybody in catfishing. Janet and Teresa they both catch a lot of fish. They're great folks. And when you get them on the show, they're fine. Once you get them on, just getting them to sit down with you was really hard to do, but they was great, great people to interview, and I really enjoyed that. But then a lot of the women are a little bit skittish about getting on, but once they get going, they're usually pretty good. They're pretty good. Dieter's camera shy. Yeah, he sure is. Well, Billy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. You can hang in here. I'll visit with you just a little bit after we shut it off. I want to thank everybody for the 54 thumbs up. If you would, just share the video so your friends can watch it. Thanks so much for joining Catfish Weekly. Hopefully, we're feeling a little bit better for next week. I'll let you know what we got going as soon as we get caught up on some of the stuff. And thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week on Catfish Weekly.